Oh dear, Chelsea. 5 points in their opening 6 matches leaves them 14th in the table. They still remain 4 points above the relegation zone, if you want to put some sort of shine on it. Robbo is with us, and no surprise, Mario is in black, as of course it's a sad day, Mario, for your former side, who go lower and lower, it seems, with each week that passes. You watched this game, obviously this 1-0 defeat against Aston Villa. What was the one thing you sat there that just frustrates you the most about watching Chelsea at the moment?
The biggest thing is that the scoring goals. I mean, no one has to talk about it because I feel like they had enough time to jump in that situation. I was at the club, I think, last season. I went there and one of their scouts highlighted that straight away. And now Jackson is playing. Do I like Jackson? Yeah. I think he has the speed, the power, the strength. As a striker, he definitely, make the team hold the ball up. He's strong at that. But one thing is very crucial at Chelsea, is scoring goals. And I think when Chelsea also always had great seasons, they always had a striker that implements certain goals. Now, we look at now, he has scored 1 goal in all the games we have played now. Mudryk hasn't scored yet. And Sterling, 2 goals? I think overall, when you look at the forwards, I feel if you're a team like Chelsea, and we're talking also, I know people highlight the spending, and we cannot miss that and the investment that they made. But how can you be a team that after Nkunku got injured, you only got Jackson, and he just, 4 yellow cards I think he's got now, and he's going to be suspended the next game. So now you got to rely on a player that just got fit again, Broja, for him to start the line, or the coach might try something. But they should have never been in that position because competition makes make players better. And I don't feel that every position has that.
Well, Pochettino, of course, has been tasked with sorting this mess out. This is what he had to say after the game, and it's interesting because it doesn't seem to make any sense either. We need to grow up like a team, not only in an individual way. In this type of game, we are competing and want to win, and football is about winning. But also players, when they are young, need to learn and experience and make mistakes. That's why we feel disappointed, as there are too many situations like this. Stewart Robson.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure that I understand it any more than you do. I mean, he might be talking about the sending off where Gusto makes a challenge. I didn't think it was a sending off myself, but if you go flying into challenges and you go to ground, you're likely to get obviously a yellow card or a red card. So he might be talking about that. He might be talking about the misses as well. Sterling had a couple of good chances that he should have taken. Chilwell, when he came on, should have taken a chance when he's 1v1 against the goalkeeper. So they're the problems. As Mario's just said, the goal scoring is their biggest problem at the moment. And unless you start scoring goals, you're going to struggle in games. Every time they go 1-0 down, they're going to think, how are we going to get back into this game? We're not taking our chances. We're probably not creating quite enough chances as well. You've got midfield players that are very good, all-round players, but are they goal-scoring midfield players? I don't think they are. So with the players they've got at the moment, it's going to be very difficult for Pochettino.
Yeah, which follows the trend, doesn't it, for previous managers. His level isn't quite as low as Frank Lampard, and it's not quite as high as Potter during his tenure when you take a look at his win percentage so far. Obviously, a small sample, but just to emphasise the task that he has, could anyone else do better, Mario?
Look, at this point, I understand that people are questioning his ability, and I don't think it's driving as hard as we expect it to be, because they only put a big charge of the stadium booth when at the final came out. But I don't think it is there yet. Do they want to see that team win? Yes, because we've been in that situation, like all the guys that are part of the show. But when you don't win, people start putting pressure on you in the sense of like you're walking around in the team and you know what the problem is. Because if you score more goals, you ease the pressure on the team. But if you don't do that, that's where the biggest problem comes. So I still think Pochettino is the guy. But the only problem I had, I should not be happy, and I repeat myself, when the market closed. That means that the club that you support, that you're happy that the market closed. That's why. Because they're buying too many. That's why I was happy. I said, shut it down, because at one point you have to start saying to yourself, we have enough. And I have felt like, and still now we're sitting here and the next window opens And we're probably talking about it again and say like, oh my guys, are you guys going again? Stop.
What can Pochettino do tactically to address this, Robbo, if anything?
I'm not sure he can do too much about it. If you're creating one or two decent chances, as they did with Sterling going in behind the fullback on one occasion, getting down the middle. I think he might be offside on that one. Chilwell gets and breaks off Aston Villa's offside line down. They had a couple of chances, good chances in the first, and you're not taking those. There's not much the manager can do unless he's got players on the bench. And Mario's just said they haven't really got players on the bench who are going to come on and change him. Broha might be fit, but he's been injured for a long time. He's not going to come back flying straight away. So he's tried to put Fernandes higher up the field to make forward runs from that number 10 role and stay with Gallagher and Caicedo in the centre of the pitch. He's tried to get his fullbacks high up the field as well to create opportunities. So I think he's doing mostly everything he can. He's a good coach. And we all said right at the start of the season, it's a mess at Chelsea in terms of all the players that they bought, all the players that went out the club. It will take him a long time to get this right, I think, as long as he's given time.
Keeper Shaq for the goal? Oh, sorry, Matt. Sorry. Go on, Mario.
You know what Robbo just said. There's also one question I have. Playing Colwell as a left back, there was one other question mark that came in my head in the sense of like Chilwell is more a left-sided player. If you're going to play four at the back, I think Colwell. I like Colwell, so it's not like I'm saying like I don't want him to, because I was one of the first to say like don't sell him. But I don't understand why you play him there. If you want to play him in the center of the back line in the center and play Chilwell. Because Chilwell, when he came on, he got that opportunity when he got 1-against-1 with Martinez. That's what Robert just literally highlighted. And that moment, do you want to give it to who is the most likely to be in that position? I think that is Chilwell. Clearly, he showed it. But also, I think Colwell is more a guy that wants to play against an attacker. And is not the guy that's going to give you the implement to go forward. So having said that, then I feel like, hey, play something going forward. The same thing in the last game is like they have to understand certain moments really quicker, I think, in the team. It's like when I saw a game against Gallagher, against Moment, that they found out that he was the free man. It should not take you that long to understand he's your free man. You should understand really quickly after, 15 minutes, he's our free man, get him on the ball, and every time we're going to play off him. And I think those kind of questions is the only thing I have to say, because away from that, yeah, you got to score. But away from that, you got to understand the tactics just a little quicker to make sure that you can implement those advantages.
Going at the goal, Shaka. Keeper, what was he doing?
I don't think Sanchez should be getting beaten there. So he has to be expecting that ball in and around his feet, adjust accordingly, and then once it does come in and around your feet and it beats you, then yeah, credit Ollie Watkins, but I'm looking at my keeper.
Now, on yesterday's extra time, we were asked how many points we believe that Chelsea would get over their next 9 games. Before we get everyone's answers to that, let's just remind you of what those games entail. Fulham and Burnley, OK, and then it's a disaster. Arsenal, Brentford, Spurs, City, Newcastle, Brighton, Everton. Sheffield United, I don't think was included, was it, in our list? So let's just take a look at how many points everyone believes that Chelsea are going to get from those 9 matches. Here they come in all their glory. I've gone 6. Shaka, you went 5. I thought I was going low with 6.
I didn't include Everton and Sheffield United in there.
No, the bottom ones don't count.
Yeah. Oh, the bottom ones don't count? Well, yeah, I'm sticking with 5.
Yeah, bottom ones don't count.
I think between Fulham and Burnley, you get 4 points.
All right.
I think you get a point against Manchester United, and that's it.
Wow. Stevie, you're a little more generous.
Yeah, I'm thinking Fulham, Burnley. Because Fulham to me are fortunate to have the points they've got. There's absolutely no way. They should have got annihilated at Everton. Everton should have won by 3 or 4. So I think they can actually beat them. So
right.
I'm going Fulham, Burnley and Brentford. Brentford are struggling. They've got a lot of injuries. Everton just gave them a right hiding as well. At home, 3-1.
Right.
So that's my 9 points.
OK.
3 games.
All right. Robbo, you're a little more generous.
Well, the same 3 games I think they'll win, and they'll get a point probably somewhere like Manchester United. So I'm going to give them a draw in one of the other games. But the 3 games that Stevie mentioned, they're the ones they're going to win.
Mario, you're not that optimistic. We were expecting a higher total from you.
No, I just have to be honest because this is just my point of view. The last couple of games that you put in, of course, I didn't have them, but I'm just what Stevie just said, you know, like, and Robbo just highlighted it too. It's like the ones that are below them or around them, I expect them to pick the 3 points up, but the ones that are above him, if they can get a point, and that's why I put 10 instead of like giving them, you know, I was between 9 and 10. I give them 1 point to pick at least up. But guys, you also have to remember, this is just the early stage. I know it's maybe you don't want to keep repeating it because 6, 7, 8 games we're going to go to. But still, I still think they can, you know, lift themselves up and create more. The only thing is, Dan, I'm so sorry. The goal scoring, man, if I was a striker...
You haven't mentioned that yet, Mario.
I put myself in there.